Marilyn Monroe was a heavy influence on me as a child, as a teenager, trying to find myself, defining myself in the world and my sexuality. I found her very useful. I found her very useful because she was, in inverted commas, fat, but she was really sexy.
If you were to put a gun to my head and ask me to describe what applied maths was all about, I'd say probably, to me, it's about stability and instability. One of the questions that biologists have asked for a long time is why do we have plankton blooms?
Why is Hamlet more beautiful than a tractor manual?
Why is it that in regions like the Galapagos Islands or the Southern Ocean, you have periodically huge increases in the phytoplankton population from its quiescent state up to about 20-fold.
For me, the whole thing about being famous was very interesting because I had assumed, I went to a school reunion not long ago and somebody said to me, I remember asking you as a child what you wanted to be, and you said you wanted to be in a soap opera, you wanted to be famous.
Once the phytoplankton reach a certain level of population growth, of population density, they can escape the control that's being placed on them by the predators, by the zooplankton. If they get to that trigger value, that threshold value, then the population just shoots up, which will only be terminated when the slower growing zooplankton, the animals, the copepods and the krill have increased their population to an extent where they can effectively graze down this increased population of phytoplankton.
But other people's reaction was quite extraordinary, and people felt that I belonged to them because I was. People would look at me in the street and go, "Oh, EastEnders," and they'd look you in the eye and say, "EastEnders." And I think I'm not EastEnders. I'm Victoria. You know, my children were quite young at the time, my elder children. And once I was having a bath, and my daughter was about 18 months, sitting on the floor, and she turned to me in the bath and she said, "Excuse me, are you Polly from EastEnders?" And I said, "No, darling, I'm your mummy." But it was because she'd heard so many people saying that. "Are you Polly from EastEnders?"
What if they go into the Southern Ocean and dump a load of iron overboard? It triggered a massive plankton bloom, and this got the American government extremely excited because they just said, "Well, this is fantastic. This means that if you can trigger a plankton bloom in the Southern Ocean, if you can increase the biomass, the plant biomass in the Southern Ocean by tenfold, then whoopee-doo, that means we can have more planes, we can have more cars, we can have more fridges." They got very excited about this.
I had one letter where this person said, "Okay, I realise that you don't want to meet me, but if you don't want to meet me, why do you keep appearing on my television?" I thought there was a fantastic kind of logic to that, actually, because it's quite a good question, because I kept on appearing in their front room twice a week and kind of taunting them with the fact that I wasn't actually there, just in the little box.
The scientific community turned around and said, "Well, yes, you can potentially seed the Southern Ocean with iron and enzymes and catalysts, but who's to say you're not going to cause another ice age in the process?"
I look back on that time I found it very frightening, and it was very false sense of people somehow valued me, but not because I was who I was, because I was associated with this program.
I always check my pulse rates after performance of the piece on stage to make sure that I feel I've been working hard enough. And my pulse rate goes up to about 180 BPM. The Bumblebee is normally played in about 1.5 minutes, and I played it in just over a minute, and I knocked about 3 seconds off the world record. So it was already very fast, but I knew I could go faster. It was actually suggested to me by a friend in Trinidad, soprano, in fact, very well-known soprano, Natalia Dopwell, who I've played a lot of concerts with in Trinidad. And she said she had just seen on YouTube a video of somebody setting the world's fastest violinist record, playing The Flight of the Bumblebee, which was my party piece and has been for years. Of course, a lot of publicity can come out of breaking a record like that, so there's a little bit of concurrence which can occur. Even if it's not spelt out, you sort of sense that if somebody is going to take your record away, then they are the enemy. It's jumped around between a few players since. The fastest performance of the Bumblebee on YouTube is still out there from me, yes.
Came down the steps of the plane, got down on my knees on the tarmac, and kissed the ground, and refused it. And when I saw this photograph, it was front page of every paper. And do you know why England was going through a passion, a celebrating passion? Everything was lying on other people thought so to anything good about England before.
If you look at commercial dog food, it really fucking pisses me off.
It's all just
because
crap.
it is so. I mean, look. Let's think about this capitalist structure, okay? Just for 1 second. Look at what they put in our lasagna. Look at how they make it. Look at the lies that they tell us about this humanly consumed product. Imagine the lies that they're telling us about the commercial foods. They're padded out with things that dogs and cats can't bloody digest. Beet pulp. Look on the ingredients of any commercial dog food. Beet pulp is a filler. I mean, it just basically, it can't be digested by cats and dogs. They use it to basically bulk it out so it's more profitable in terms of being able to produce a product which is cheaper, but because meat is expensive, actual prime meat is expensive. It would just be nice if commercial dog foods were, more quality. If they were, then I'd buy them. And we literally just scoop it out in a hand and we just lump it in a fucking bowl, all right? That's what we fucking do. What do you think, this is a fucking hotel?